A lot happened between 500 and 501. That's what Ravichandran Ashwin's wife Preeti Ashwin had put out as far as social media is concerned just about a couple of weeks back when the Indian team was playing in Rajkot. Remember, just to refresh your memory, Ravichandran Ashwin had gone missing from the test match for a day immediately after he hit the 500 mark, and what we were told back then is that he had left and had gone back home for personal reasons. But now, a couple of weeks after, he's now crossed the 500 mark, and as he now looks forward to a momentous occasion as far as his career is concerned, test match number 100 for Ravichandran Ashwin. His wife Preeti Narayanan has now talked about the ordeal. What is it that those 48 hours, and why she said that those were the longest 48 hours for the Ashwin family. She's talked about what exactly had happened, why is it that Ashwin had to be called, and what exactly was it that needed his attention. All those details have now emerged, and another Indian cricketer who's not with the setup at the moment did play a handy role, more than a handy role in fact, and she's credited that Indian cricketer and his family a lot for all the help in those 48 hours, especially as far as getting Ashwin from Rajkot to Chennai is concerned. That's where that help came in at the very most. So let's very quickly tell you, and be with us because it's going to be a long video at that, and tell you what exactly is it that the Ashwin family went through in those horrendous 48 hours, of those very difficult 48 hours that they had to endure. And it all started when Ravichandran Ashwin was on 499 wickets. His kids in fact had just come back from school when this whole incident happened, and Ravichandran Ashwin's wife was just busy attending phone calls the moment that he had hit the 500 wicket mark, and that's when the entire thing transpired. And let's now tell you what exactly is it that she said. She said that 5 minutes after he had got to 500, when I heard a sudden scream from auntie as she collapsed, and in no time we were in the hospital. So that's exactly what happened. A sudden scream from Ravichandran Ashwin's mother, and she had to be rushed to the hospital. In fact, was in the ICU, and that's where the problem really began for the Ashwin family, because Ashwin was in Rajkot, and to get him to Chennai was the big issue because connectivity. And this is where now a certain Chiteshwar Pujara comes and rescues the Ashwin family over here. So let's tell you more about what exactly had happened. And at that point she says that we had decided not to tell Ashwin because there wasn't good flight connectivity between Chennai and Rajkot, which is why there was a little bit of a hang up, which is why the Ashwin family decided to be calm in those moments of panic, in those moments of chaos where so much was happening around then. That's when the phone then went not to Ravichandran Ashwin but Chiteshwar Pujara, and his wife says that I dialed up Pujara and his family were of great help. Once we found a way out, I called up Ashwin because after the scans, the doctor suggested that the son be around her. That's the kind of care that Ravichandran Ashwin's mother required at that particular time, even though Ashwin was on national duty. A rare instance where you saw a cricketer leave the field and head back home for personal reasons. We've not seen that happen in the game of cricket too often. In fact, a very rare occurrence over there. And because of the seriousness of the issue, the Indian team, the BCCI, Rahul Dravid, Rohit Sharma also playing a big part over here, because his wife then goes on to say that I thank Rahul Bhai and Rohit because they were in constant touch even after we were able to figure out how to get Ashwin back from Rajkot, because as she said, connectivity issue was the big hurdle over there. Both of them continued to be in touch with her and were always following up if or not Ravichandran Ashwin had reached. So till the time Ashwin hadn't landed in the hospital, hadn't reached Chennai, till that very juncture, you saw both the captain and the coach be in constant touch with Ravichandran Ashwin's family, and she's credited the two of them for the support and for giving him the leeway to be able to go back home as well. So all of that has also been mentioned by his wife in this note that she's put out. She also goes on to say that when this news was then given to Ravichandran Ashwin over the phone, he sounded so broken that he hung up. It took him time. It took him another 20-25 minutes to process what I had told him and for him to call back. You can imagine what it must have been for Ravichandran Ashwin to be on national duty, to be playing for the Indian team, to be not having a very good outing as well, let's not forget. So in all of that, as far as cricketing reasons is concerned, on top of that, when you get something like that, when you hear something like that coming from your wife and something so personal to you, when it involves your mother's health, you can imagine what Ravichandran Ashwin would have gone through in that very moment, so much so that he needed about 20-25 minutes to be able to process it and then call his wife back. And then of course he then flew back. Credit to in fact BCCI, since we are saying, let's also not forget that Jay Shah, the secretary of the BCCI, arranged a charter plane as well for Ravichandran Ashwin for him to go and tend to his mother. There is more though, so stay with us as we tell you a little more about what exactly happened after he reached the hospital. It was very emotional moment for him to see his mom in the ICU, says his wife, and after she stabilized, we asked him to rejoin the team. Yes, we know that Ravichandran Ashwin was with the Indian team the following day, and those were tough hours for the Indian team as well. But once his mother's condition had stabilized, his wife says that we told Ashwin to go ahead and rejoin the Indian team, and that's exactly what happened. Given his personality, she adds that he would never leave a game like that, and he would have that he would have had an extreme amount of guilt had he not gone ahead and won the game for the Indian team. That is Ravichandran Ashwin for you. You know he wears his heart on his sleeve. You know how committed he is to Indian cricket, to the Indian team, and she says that knowing that particular aspect of his personality, and since his mom was now stable, we asked Ashwin to go ahead and rejoin the Indian team, and that's exactly what happened. Ravichandran Ashwin came back. The Indian team did go ahead and win the test match as well, and that of course played a part in India then taking an eventual lead in the series, which now stands at 3-1. But 48 very painful and long hours for Ravichandran Ashwin and his family, and now his wife has gone ahead and shared these details as far as what it felt like to be spending those 48 hours in the hospital, from Ravichandran Ashwin being stranded in many ways in Rajkot because connectivity issue couldn't get him back, to Pujara coming to the rescue and all the help that was offered from the BCCI as well. She's gone ahead and put everything together as to what those 48 hours for the Ashwin family looked like.